Good morning. Try it again. Good morning. All right. I'm Pat Damer. I'm the Acting Director of the Office of Science, and on behalf of the Department of Energy and the Office of Science, welcome to the finals of the 2014 National Science Bowl. Yes. After several days of activities and competitions at the 4-H Center, we're now down to the final two teams for the middle school competition and the high school competition. Welcome to all of the teams. Welcome to the coaches, the parents, the friends, distinguished visitors, and guests. We're going to have a special guest for you later this morning after the final competitions. That's Secretary of Energy Ernest Moniz to help present the awards. I want to extend special thanks to Jan. Where's Jan? There's Jan. Jan Tyler. Yes. And the legion of volunteers that Jan conscripts. We're very pleased this morning that we have David Zarin once again to act as Master of Ceremonies of the National Science Bowl Finals. David, over the past 25 years, has written, produced, and starred in, hosted in a large number of award-winning science and public affairs programs. He's well known for this. He's the host of It's Academic, broadcast out of Baltimore. He is also the Senior Television Instructional Specialist for the Prince George's County, Maryland, Public Schools Office of Television Resources, and so as not to fall idle during the weekends, he is also the meteorologist forecasting the weather for News Channel 8 and WJLA, ABC 7 News. We are extremely pleased to have David with us today. Please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you, Pat, and good morning. And it is certainly nice to be back for my 15th year here at the National Science Bowl. And Pat mentioned very nicely that I am a meteorologist. I'm happy to admit that on a morning like this. When the sun is out, you guys have had a great weekend. And I have to tell you, it's really nice to hear applause for a change. You take your cues well. All this winter, those of you that lived anywhere on the East Coast know that we had the worst winter ever. It just never stopped snowing. And the public turned on us. And we tried as best we could. We tried to pacify them with, it's the polar vortex. They weren't buying that. We tried the North Atlantic Oscillation. We said the jet stream was sagging. We were blamed for all of the bad weather. But thanks to some daughters and their friends and a lot of little girls who visited the station, we finally came up with our scapegoat. They said, Dave, we've all seen the movie Frozen. It was Elsa who did it, the Ice Queen. We thought that was a pretty good explanation, so we adopted Let It Go as our theme song. We were all singing Frozen Fractals all week and all winter, and like Elsa, the cold never bothered me anyway. Welcome to the finale of the 24th Annual Department of Energy National Science Bowl. You know, this all started back in 1991. That was before any of you were born. I'm talking to the students, of course. Back in 1991, Pluto was still a planet. Fishing was done with a pole. Candy Crush was a treat in the bottom of our Halloween bag. And since photos were taken with film and had to be developed, selfies were out of the question. You know, since 1991, over 500 high schools and middle schools and over 240,000 students have competed right here in the nation's capital. Today, there are 580 of you here, representing 68 high schools and 48 middle schools, and we are especially happy to welcome the 21 new high schools and the 21 new middle schools. Could you guys stand so we can see you? and recognize you. There they are, folks, the new kids on the block. Good to have you here. At the other end of the spectrum, we have two schools here this morning who have been with us most of our existence. 17 of our 24 years, two schools. Mira Loma High School. Where is Mira Loma? Mira Loma is our defending champion, three-time national champion, and their coach, Mr. Jim Hill over there, has been with us for 15 years. Mr. Smith, always good to have you here. Thank you, and good luck today. The other school that's been here for 17 years, the Thomas Jefferson Science and Tech School from nearby Alexandria. Thomas Jefferson, where are you folks today? Right there in the center. And their longtime coach, Sharon Webb, is with us here today as well and works with the bowl, and she's just a phenomenal educator. Thomas Jefferson, incidentally, has won 4 national championships, and that record still stands. As far as the middle schools, we started this competition back in 2002, and 2 of the schools here today have been with us for almost all of our 12 years. 9 years with Van Antwerp Middle School from Niskayuna, New York, and Lux Middle School from Nebraska, here 9 and 8 years respectively. Van Antwerp and Lux, could you stand so we can recognize you? They're way in the back there. Thank you so much for being here all these years, and congratulations. How many of you, like Emily Gay of Clarence Middle School up in New York, are here in Washington, D.C. for the very first time? Very first time. A lot of hands out there. You know, if it's your first trip here, it's no different than for those of us that have lived here most of our lives. There's a thrill about being in Washington, and I hope you felt that. Sitting in this magnificent hall that looks like the Parthenon, if you're walking on that great green swath of the mall, if you go atop the Kennedy Center and you see the monuments and the Potomac River, there's just a grandeur about Washington that takes your breath away. And we hope you've felt that here this weekend, and we hope you come back many times. I also hope you've made a lot of new friends while you're here. Some of you have been here year after year. I know you go on Facebook. I know you text, because you're making friends here that you're going to run across in ways you don't imagine as you go through your life. There's a certain kind of camaraderie here that you've felt, and you take it back with you, and it's something that will never leave you. You're having a souvenir experience. You'll always think back to this time, and hopefully you'll come back like our alums and participate and volunteer with us. The fact that you're here tonight this morning in such a huge mass, I hope you don't feel anonymous. If you're sitting out there thinking, you know, I'm just one in many, you're not. All this weekend, you have been representing your hometowns, and no matter where you placed in this competition, you are hometown heroes, and I hope you know that. Give yourselves a hand. You are hometown heroes. Think about it. The federal government flew you here, except for the local teams that came by subway. They flew you here, they fed you, they housed you, all because of your academic success and your hard work. That rarely happens in this life. Very few people in this country will ever have this kind of recognition. And I hope you appreciate your specialness and the honor that you've had. And speaking of hometown heroes, a student who enjoyed this experience as much as you are right now was Austin Hudson Lepore. You might have read your program and read that, tragically, Austin, who was here for 4 years, from 2005 to 2009, representing Albuquerque Academy out of New Mexico on the middle and high school teams, he lost his life last summer. It's a terrible blow to all of us, because we are family. Like many of you, Austin couldn't get enough of this experience. He loved Science Bowl. His parents say that he used to wear his Science Bowl t-shirt even to bed out on the street. It was his badge of honor that he had been through this experience. And he loved it because he got to be among people that were kin, people who loved science as much as he did. Austin's parents are here with us today, and we grieve with them. And we're very sorry for their loss. But we hope that just being in this place where their son had so much enjoyment, that it will help sustain them and maybe even bring a smile or two. Could we ask Mr. and Mrs. Hudson Lepore, to stand, please, because they're with us today, right here in the front. And we hope during the breaks here and at lunch and maybe before you get on your buses to go out to the airport that you have a chance to greet them and tell them how much this experience means and give them a hug. You might feel a little uncomfortable, but take it from personal experience. It will mean a lot to them. Thank you very much for being here today. I also want to echo what Pat said about Jan Tyler, General Jan Tyler, who organizes this thing with military precision and comes through every year with a combination of a general's toughness and a mother's compassion. And I hope all of you know that this thing doesn't just happen. As you're leaving today, Jan and her troops will already start organizing next year's Science Bowl. It takes that much preparation. Let's give Jan another great hand and her team. Thank you, Jan. And before we start the competition, my favorite part. I've spent the past couple weeks reading your bios. I love them. So many of you, you're not only smart kids, you are good kids. Because back in your homes, you're generous, you have big hearts, you help out your families, you help out your communities. You are making significant differences where you live. You're not just bright students, you're pillars of your community. You also have some unusual likes and dislikes. Some of you have great senses of humor. Some of you could have taken Stephen Colbert's place on the Letterman show. Let me tell you about some of the, if maybe you've not read these. For instance, there are students here who are being completely honest about why they came. Brian Lee of Walton High School in Marietta, Georgia. Brian, if you're out there, he says, yeah, the competition's great, the food's good, but the best part of Science Bowl is the free Frisbee. He's easy to satisfy. Easy. Free, that costs us nothing. Suleiman Ahmed of Hopkins Junior High in California plans on being legendary in his own time and beyond because he hopes to be the final answer in the 3001 National Science Bowl competition. He'll outlast Einstein. Suleiman, cold fusion might do it for you. And Jake Klein of American Heritage School in Plantation, Florida, I love this. He has been here enough times that he reminisces about when computer science was a Science Bowl category. Now that it's gone, he says he weeps softly into his pillow at night. I've got that image in my head, yeah. Juan Lee of Lexington High School in Massachusetts tells us that he can't wait to meet his favorite scientist, Ernie Moniz. Ernie? The Secretary of Energy? Dr. Moniz? Ernie. All right, on good terms with the guy. Always good to suck up to the boss, Juan. Always good. A lot of you like to share your hobbies. In some cases, it was a little too much information. Like sweet-sounding Nina Vander Zanden of Ames, Iowa, Ames High School in Iowa. Seems a very nice girl. She tells us that she belongs to the speech club and the swim team, and she enjoys crocheting, knitting, and knife throwing and whip cracking. Whoa! You don't mess with Nina. No way. Nabir Sarma of Eden Prairie Middle School tells us that he is quite the musician. He plays the clarinet, the piano, the guitar, the bass, the cello, and the violin in the Greater Twin Cities Youth Symphony. Nabir, you are the Greater Twin Cities Youth Symphony. And my last story was my favorite. Andrew Moten of Tokay High School in Lodi, California. Who knew that Cupid's arrows were flying here? He says that during science ball practice, he met his girlfriend 3 years ago, and they're still together. They can be found, in his words, studying entomology together on warm Friday nights. Use your imagination, folks. We have some winners to announce before we start our competition here. On Friday, all the high school teams participated in the Division Team Challenge Science activity, and it was about looking at transformation of energy with toy trains. You were measuring the thickness of toilet paper. You were doing math modeling and cratering sugar bowls. There were 8 divisions. Each of these teams will receive $500 for science supplies for their schools. I'd like for these teams to stand as I read your names. They are all outstanding scholars. In the Arrhenius Division, Mira Loma High School, Sacramento, California, $500. The Brommery Division's winner is Ames High School, Ames, Iowa. That's Nina Vanderzinden with the knives, $500. The Curie Division's winner is Fairview High School of Boulder, Colorado. Fairview High, over there. Our next winner, familiar to us here on Science Bowl, has been coming for years in the Darwin Division, University High School, Irvine, California. Big smiles over there. In the Einstein Division, our $500 winner is the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics in Durham. Right there. Good job. The Fermi Division's winner, State College Area High School in State College, Pennsylvania. My alma mater, Penn State. Nice to see you guys. Congratulations. In the Galileo Division, $500 to Los Alamos High School, Los Alamos, New Mexico. And what a splash this team has made. Not only have they won a Division Team Challenge, they are in the finals, and it is their first time ever at the Science Bowl in the Hypatia Division, Westview High School, Portland, Oregon. There they are. We mentioned alumni earlier. For the past 14 years, National Science Bowl alumni have been invited to come here to the National Science Bowl and participate as volunteers. You've seen them around. They assist with doing so many different things. They serve as competition officials, and most importantly, they serve as role models. We hope you also will consider coming back and joining us. This year, I have 23 alumni here in attendance. One of them will be moderating this morning. Another is the lead science judge. 2 will be stage rules judges, and several others will serve as judges throughout the room. Could we have all 23 of our alumni stand and be recognized? Thank you all for being here today. Familiar faces to us. And now the main event, which you've all been waiting for. Who will win? On to the competition. Again, we started 48 middle schools, 68 high schools. We are down to the final 2 middle school teams. They are Greater Boston Math and Science Team from Andover, Massachusetts. They are undefeated in double elimination, and they will be playing against the J Droids Science Club from Wayne, New Jersey. They have 1 loss in double elimination. In the high school competition, we have Mira Loma High School from Sacramento, California, undefeated in double elimination, and Westview High School from Portland, Oregon, with 1 loss. We wish all of the teams the best of luck this morning. I'm now going to turn this microphone over to our two moderators. Adam Matthews. Dr. Matthews has been with us for 12 years, and first time here at the moderating table, Phelim McGowan. Gentlemen, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Dave. And let's all show our appreciation for Dave. Thanks very much for being here. On behalf of all the competition officials and volunteers, I want to welcome all of you to the final rounds of the Department of Energy's National Science Bowl 2014. First up this morning, we have the middle school competition, so we'll move straight along and invite the teams to the stage. So I'd like to invite first up to the stage this round's Team A, currently with no losses and double elimination from Andover, Massachusetts. Please join us in welcoming Greater Boston Math and Science Team. And next, let's invite up to the stage this round's Team B, currently with one loss in double elimination from Wayne, New Jersey. Please join us in welcoming J-Droids Science Club. So, congratulations to both teams on doing so well and coming this far. You should all be immensely proud of your achievement in reaching the 2014 middle school final. As our competitors get settled in, and before we ask them to introduce themselves, I'll introduce the competition officials for this round. My name is Phelim McGowan. I'm a professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering and the Institute for Computational Medicine at Johns Hopkins University, about 30 miles from here in Baltimore, Maryland. My role this morning is I'm going to be the moderator for this round, and that means I'll be asking you the questions. You'll hear me call interrupt if you interrupt, and I'll be ruling whether your answers are correct or incorrect. But I will not be the person who recognizes you. That person is sitting directly to my left, and I'll let Adam introduce himself.
Good morning. My name is Adam Matthews. I'm a Science Bowl alum. I was here in 95 and 97 from Hawaii. I'm currently a professor in the Department of Biological Sciences at Wellesley College. I'll be the science judge, and I'll be recognizing you today.
My name is Dean Jens. I also competed in National Science Bowl in 92 and 93 from Ankeny High School in Ankeny, Iowa. I am now a graduate student in New Jersey, and I will be a science judge today.
My name is Georgia Jacoby. I competed in National Science Bowl in 98 and 99 with Albuquerque Academy. I'm now an embedded software engineer, and I will also be a science judge.
I'm Cindy Dalton with IBM, and I'm your timekeeper.
I'm Douglas Fuller, an alumnus from Ankeny High School in Ankeny, Iowa, and from 1999. I'm a computational scientist at Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and I'll manage your game clock and score.
I'd like to also introduce our rules judges on stage. To the right is Jeremiah Way, also a Science Bowl alum. He was here in 1998 from Fort Collins High School in Colorado. He's currently an engineer at the Hawk Company. And on the other side of the stage is Maggie Chu. She's an alum as well, competed here in 2009 from Bethlehem High School in New York. She's in the first year pursuing her DVM degree at Cornell Veterinary School.
Great. So now let's meet our competitors, and we'll simultaneously check the buzzers and make sure you're all ready to be recognized by Adam. So if we could start over here on my left with competitor A3. I'll ask you to buzz in and wait to be recognized by Adam. And once you're recognized, please tell us your name, what grade you're in, and what your favorite science subject is.
A3. A3.
My name is Justin Chang. I'm in 7th grade, and my favorite science subject is chemistry.
Thank you. A2.
I'm Michael. I'm in 8th grade, and I like math.
Thank you. A captain.
I'm Abhi, and my favorite subject is science, and I'm in 8th grade.
Thank you. A1.
I'm Snigdha. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite science subject is biology.
Thank you. B1.
I'm Robert Salita. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite science subject is math.
B captain.
I'm Rohan Jayanth. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite science subject is biology.
Thank you. Sorry, try again, please.
Not working.
B3, could you please try buzzing in? All right, we'll have to fix the issue with B2's buzzer. B3.
My name is Kian Vilhauer. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite subject is science.
Okay, thank you. B2, could you try buzzing in again, please? Okay, can we get some technical assistance fixing the buzzer for B2, please?
Since B3 is working, I suspect it's just the clicker.
Or there might be.
Jeremiah, would you mind trying pushing it down, give it a nice firm push and see whether it's...
Yeah, there might be a cord. It's obviously.
Okay, let's try this again. B2.
Hi, I'm Shiva Bala. I'm in 8th grade, and my favorite science subject is also biology.
Thank you very much. If I could just please ask all of you, when you're giving your answers, please speak into the microphone so that we can hear you down here and the rest of the audience can hear you as well. Okay?
Thank you very much. If I could ask the coaches and alternates for the two teams to stand up, please. Stand by yourselves. Thank you very much. And out of deference to our competitors for this round, I'm just going to ask everybody in the audience to make sure any cell phones and devices such as that are switched off. And since we want the room to be quiet and respectful for them, I'm going to give you one last chance to get all the noise out of your system. So again, let's congratulate these two teams for making it this far. And as a final reminder to the audience, no recording devices are permitted during these rounds. Okay, teams, before we get started, do you have any questions about rules or anything else about these rounds? No? Good. You're all old hands at this, right? Yes, A3.
Could I ask where the scoreboard is?
Yeah, it should be on your
Thank you.
monitor. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions before we begin? If not, then we will begin middle school double elimination round 8 with a toss-up for both teams. Question 1, math short answer. Angle BCD is an exterior angle of triangle ABC. If the angle BCD measures 117 degrees, what is the largest possible integer degree measure for the angle ABC?
Time.
The correct answer was 116. Toss-up 2 for both teams. Physical science, multiple choice. According to the law of definite proportions, any two samples of KCl have which of the following? W, the same mass, X, the same melting point, Y, the same ratio of elements, Z, slightly different molecular... Interrupt?
A, captain.
Why?
Y is correct. Bonus question. Physical science, multiple choice. Which of the following functional groups can be found in beta-mercaptoethanol and consists of a sulfur atom single bonded to a hydrogen atom?
Carbon.
That's fine. W, alkene, X, aldehyde, Y, carboxylic acid, Z, thiol.
Z.
Z is correct. Toss-up question 3 for both teams. General science, short answer. A box under high pressure is filled with helium, diatomic oxygen, diatomic nitrogen, and argon. A small hole is then opened in the box. Which of the gases escapes the box? Interrupt?
B, captain.
Helium.
Helium is correct. Bonus question, general science, short answer. In a titration experiment, small calibrated doses of the titrant are added to a known volume of analyte and indicator. The purpose of titration is to determine what extensive property of the analyte.
But titration is titration is when you mix two things. So I think it's the neutralization point, or it could be the pH, but I don't know. So should we just go with neutralization point?
5 seconds.
Neutralization point.
That's not correct. The correct answer is concentration. Toss-up question 4 for both teams. Life science, multiple choice. Which of the following elements is needed for animals to make at least some of the proteogenic amino acids? W, sulfur, X, iron, Y, magnesium, Z, interrupt?
B, captain.
W.
W is correct. Bonus question, life science, short answer. What protein found in reptiles and humans is used to protect the skin from desiccation and abrasion?
It's either keratin or chitin, but I believe reptiles have keratin scales. Humans do not have chitin. Keratin.
Keratin is correct. Toss-up question 5, Earth and space, short answer. A cold water geyser or false geyser is driven by what substance trapped in an aquifer?
B2.
Gaseous components.
That is incorrect.
Time.
That's too late. The correct answer was carbon dioxide. Toss-up question 6 for both teams, physical science, multiple choice. A gear in a transmission is configured such that it makes 2 rotations for every rotation of the rear wheels of the vehicle. If the wheels have a circumference of pi feet and the vehicle moves 10 pi feet forward, how many rotations, interrupt?
B, captain.
5.
That's incorrect. That's 4 points to Team A. I'll reread. Physical science, multiple choice. A gear in a transmission is configured such that it makes 2 rotations for every rotation of the rear wheels of the vehicle. If the wheels have a circumference of pi feet and the vehicle moves 10 pi feet forward, how many rotations does the gear make? W, pi, X, 5, Y, 10, Z, 20.
A2.
Z.
Z is correct. Bonus question, physical science, short answer. What type of reflection occurs off of a smooth surface such as a mirror and results in a definite angle of reflection?
Specular reflection.
That is correct. Toss-up question 7, math, short answer. What is the third smallest positive integer that has exactly 3 positive divisors?
Time.
Go ahead.
A2.
25.
That is correct. Bonus question, math, short answer. What are the center and radius of the circle with equation x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 6y minus 11 equals 0?
2 negative 3 and square root 2.
So 2 negative 3 and square root 2. Anyone else have a comment? Wait, is it this?
5 seconds.
2 comma negative 3 and square root of 2.
I'm sorry, that's it. The center was correct, but the radius was 2 root 6. Toss-up 8, energy, multiple choice. Absorption of carbon dioxide in which of the following is not an example of geological sequestration of carbon? W, soil. X, unminable coal seams in mines. Y, depleted oil and gas reserves. Z, underground saline formations.
B3.
W.
W is correct. Please speak into the microphone.
Sorry.
Bonus question, energy multiple choice. Winds at higher altitudes are stronger and more persistent, making them a potential target for future wind energy efforts. How does the power available in wind vary with velocity? W, it is directly proportional to velocity cubed. X, it is directly proportional to velocity squared. Y, it is directly proportional to velocity. Z, it is inversely proportional to velocity squared.
I believe it's proportional to velocities. It's inversely proportional. How is energy? It has to be directly proportional. So I think it's technically velocity squared, but I don't know. Because velocity squared and v squared was force. I think it's
it might be Z.
5 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
X.
X is not correct. The correct answer is W. Toss-up 9 for both teams, life science, multiple choice. Which of the following is true regarding the nephron? W, nephrons with short loops of Henle are called juxtamedullary nephrons. X, the nephron is the functional unit of the bladder. Y, nephrons are, interrupt?
A, captain.
X.
That's incorrect. That's 4 points to Team B, and I'll reread. Life science multiple choice. Which of the following is true regarding the nephron? W, nephrons with short loops of Henle are called juxtamedullary nephrons. X, the nephron is the functional unit of the bladder. Y, nephrons are key in regulating the breakdown products of sugars. Z, Bowman's capsule surrounds the glomerulus.
B2.
Y.
Y is incorrect. The correct answer is Z. Toss-up 10 for both teams. General science, short answer. Scientists estimate what percentage of energy is transferred from a lower trophic level to the next higher trophic level.
B2.
10%.
That is correct. Bonus question, general science multiple choice. Which of the following plants is known for its anti-malarial activity? W, foxglove, X, echinacea, Y, sweet wormwood, Z, Pacific yew.
Sweet wormwood. Sweet wormwood. Yes. 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 Yes.
Y.
Y is correct. Toss-up 11 for both teams. Math, short answer. In the set of integers modulo 6, what is 4 squared?
A2.
4.
That is correct. Bonus question. Math, short answer. Given a set of 5 points, no 3 of which are collinear, how many different ways are there to use 5 segments to connect the 5 points in such a way that each point is an endpoint for exactly 2 of the segments?
24. 24.
That's incorrect. The answer is 12. Toss-up question 12 for both teams. Physical science, short answer. Experiments with cathode rays led to the discovery of what interrupt?
A1.
Electron.
I'm sorry, that was a blurt.
And it was also an interrupt, so I'll reread the question for Team B. Physical science, short answer. Experiments with cathode rays led to the discovery of what subatomic component?
Clock, please.
Stop the clock.
Did you have a question, A3?
Yes, you gave 4 points to J-droids on this component.
It was an interrupt and a blurt. It was a four-point penalty.
This wasn't what we called, but this was a conferral because she didn't respond before she was ready.
She was after he buzzed.
Yeah, but he did not buzz. If you buzz and the back it was you who buzzed. She was ready. Right, it wasn't an Oh, it was
an interrupt.
So the penalty points there.
It was an interrupt, so the question was an interrupt. So we're going to reread the question for Team B. So it's a 4-point interrupt penalty, and it's going to be reread for Team B.
So I've reread it, so it's okay. Did you reread the question? I have already. We just start the 5 seconds? So the question's been reread, so if we can start the 5 seconds.
Okay.
B, Captain.
Electron.
Electron is correct. Bonus question. Physical science, short answer. A light traveling through a medium with an index of refraction 1.2 strikes a pane of glass at an angle of 60 degrees, refracting at an angle of 30 degrees. To 2 significant figures, what is the index of refraction of the pane of glass?
It's angle.
What do you think it is?
I think it's 2. I think it's 2.
Go for it. Rohan.
5 seconds.
2.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is 2.1, and that is halftime in this round. The score standing with Greater Boston 40 and J-Droids 48.
Here.
It's only confirmed. Right. Yeah, right. That was a blurt. That's because she buzzed. And you talking after.
Okay, so in my.
Thank you very much, everybody. Before we begin with the second half of Double Eliminate, we just want to revisit the last question. During halftime, we were able to confirm that contestant A1 answered the question correctly, and we knew that she answered the question correctly, but we heard a second person speak. We thought it was from Team A. We were able to confirm that that person was from Team B. Therefore, we're reversing the call of the blurt on Team A. So what is happening right now is that 8 points will be taken from J Droids. That's the correct answer in the toss-up, plus the 4 points they got from the interrupt. And 4 points will be given to Team A, correctly awarded to Team A now for the correct answer. And before we start the second half, Team A is going to receive an untimed bonus question, which is a different bonus question, but a bonus question you would have gotten for getting that toss-up correct. So before we start the clock, this is an untimed. You still only have 20 seconds to answer, but this doesn't come off the time of the second half. So if everybody in the hall will please be quiet as we restart. Okay, so this is a bonus question for Team A. Earth and space, short answer. What is the term for a type of mud flow or debris flow composed of a slurry of pyroclastic material, rocky debris, and water, and associated with a volcanic eruption?
Lehar.
That is correct. Okay, so now we will get ready to start the second half of round 8. We'll be starting with toss-up question 14. Before we begin, are there any questions from the teams or any rule issues? All right, do we have any alternates coming in? No? All right. Therefore, we will begin with a toss-up question for both teams. This is question 14, energy, short answer. What fissile isotope of plutonium is produced during commercial nuclear power generation?
Time.
That's too late. The correct answer was plutonium-239. Toss-up question 15 for both teams. Life science, short answer. The human genetic code uses 64 codons to code for 20 amino acids, meaning that some amino acids are encoded by multiple codons. Name either of the 2 amino acids that are encoded by only one codon.
B2.
Methionine.
That is correct. Bonus question, life science, short answer. The theory of endosymbiosis predicts that plastids originated from ancient organisms that formed a mutualistic relationship with other single-celled organisms. Indicate all of the following 3 observations that are evidence for the theory of endosymbiosis. 1. Presence of DNA inside of mitochondria. 2. Mitochondria only forming via binary fission. 3. Chloroplast rRNA forming 70S ribosomes.
Chloroplastic ribosomal RNA.
So I think I don't do chloroplasts have RNA. I think actually that it's 1 and 2.
5 seconds.
Statements 1 and 2.
That's incorrect. All 3 statements were correct. Toss-up question 16, physical science, short answer. What 2 flavors of quarks make up protons and interrupt?
A captain.
Up and down.
That is correct. Bonus question, physical science, short answer. The initial pressure of an ideal gas is 1 atmosphere. At constant temperature, if the volume of the gas approaches infinity, then the pressure of the gas must approach what value in units of atmospheres?
0.
0 atmospheres.
That is correct. Toss-up 17 for both teams. Earth and space, short answer. What is the azimuth of the sun at sunrise during the autumnal equinox?
B3.
45 degrees.
That is incorrect.
A captain.
23.5.
No, the correct answer is 90 degrees.
And B3, please speak into your microphone.
Thank you. Toss-up 18, general science, multiple choice. Populations with short lifespans, high death rates, many offspring, and early reproduction can be classified as which of the following? W, equilibrium, X, R-selected, Y, populous, Z, K-selected.
A captain.
Z.
Z is not correct.
B2.
X.
X is correct. Bonus question, general science, short answer. What is the name given to irregular base pairing at the third base in a codon during translation?
Non-coding, no. It's, I don't think substitution. No, there's something about, I don't know. I think that's the thing.
5 seconds.
Substitution.
No, the correct answer is wobble. Toss-up 19 for both teams. Math, short answer. What is the exponent of x for the fourth term in the expansion of open parenthesis 2x plus m close parenthesis to the 9th power?
Time.
The correct answer was 6. Toss-up 20, physical science, multiple choice. The Stern-Gerlach experiment used silver atoms flying through a specific magnetic field to show that the magnetic field would bend the path of the silver atoms by a particular angle in opposite directions. Which of the following did this experiment aid in discovering? W, particle spin, X, the uncertainty principle, Y, wave-particle duality, Z, quantum entanglement.
A, captain.
Y.
Y is not correct.
B, captain.
W.
W is correct. Bonus question, physical science, short answer. Sample A contains 4 moles of oxygen gas, while sample B contains 10 moles of elemental carbon. Which sample has more mass and by how much to the nearest gram?
Elemental carbon is just one carbon atom. What's the mass? What's the mass? 6, right? 12. So 120, and then Robert, multiply 3 times 32 times 2. 64. So I think it's 10 moles of carbon. Okay. Sample B.
That is incorrect. The answer is sample A by 8 grams. Toss-up 21, life science, multiple choice. Chlorophylls are characterized by the presence of what metal in their porphyrin ring structure? Interrupt.
B, captain.
Magnesium.
That is correct. Bonus question, life science, short answer. Different layers of a forest absorb photosynthetically active radiation at different levels. Rate the following 4 portions of a mixed forest in order from most absorptive to least absorptive. 1, crown. 2, forest floor. 3, understory. 4, upper crown.
3 is understory and 4 is upper crown. So I want to say 2, 3, 1, 4.
3, 1, 4. Okay. Can we get it by number?
Yes, 2, 3, 1.
Most to least, right?
Yes, 2,
5 seconds.
2, 3, 1, 4.
No, the correct answer is 1, 3, 2, 4. Toss-up 22 for both teams. Earth and space, multiple choice. The base combination of clay comprises which elements? W, silicon, phosphorus, nitrogen. X, aluminum, silicon, oxygen. Y, phosphorus, calcium, potassium. Z, nitrogen, potassium, silicon.
B, captain.
Y.
Y is not correct.
A, captain.
X.
X is correct. Bonus question, Earth and space, multiple choice. Which of the following is not true of the subtropical latitudes between 30 and 35 degrees, both north and south? W, they are called the horse latitudes. X, they are under a ridge of low pressure. Y, they are regions that receive little precipitation. Z, they are regions with variable winds mixed with periods of calm.
X.
X is correct. Toss-up 23 for both teams. Energy, multiple choice. An exothermic fusion nuclear reaction is possible under which of the following conditions? W, the product nucleus is lighter than iron-56. X, the product nucleus is heavier than iron-56. Interrupt.
A, captain.
W.
W is correct. Bonus question, energy multiple choice. A transmission line T1 with power factor equal to 1 dissipates 100 kilowatts for 2 hours. Transmission line T2 has a power factor of 0.5 and dissipates 400 kilowatts for 2 hours. If the cost of electricity is 20 cents per kilowatt hour, how much is paid for the dissipated energy in each transmission line? W, $20 and $160. X, $40 and $80. Y, $40 and $160. Z, $40 and $320.
X.
X is not correct. The correct answer is Y. Toss-up 24 for both teams. Life science multiple choice. Why are spongin and spicules important to a sponge? W, they digest food. X, they remove waste. Y, they provide support. Z, they produce interrupt.
B2.
Y.
Y is correct. Bonus question, life science short answer. What are the scientific names of the 3 layers of supportive tissue that surround each kidney?
No, cortex. You want to say cortex, matrix, and what? Cortex, matrix, and pericycle.
No, the correct answer is renal capsule, adipose capsule, and renal fascia. Toss-up 25 for both teams. General science short answer. In what type of chemical reaction is one or more electrons transferred between interrupt?
A captain.
Ionic.
That's incorrect. That's 4 points to Team B, and I'll reread. General science short answer. In what type of chemical reaction is one or more electrons transferred between reactants?
B2.
Ionic, metallic.
That's not correct. The correct answer is a redox reaction. And that brings us to the end of this round. The final score is Greater Boston 86, J-Droid 64. Please join us in congratulating our 2014 Middle School National Science Bowl champions, Greater Boston.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll take a 15-minute break while we set up for the award ceremony.
Good morning. Try it again. Good morning. All right. I'm Pat Damer. I'm the Acting Director of the Office of Science, and on behalf of the Department of Energy and the Office of Science, welcome to the finals of the 2014 National Science Bowl. Yes. After several days of activities and competitions at the 4-H Center, we're now down to the final 2 teams for the middle school competition and the high school competition. Welcome to all of the teams. Welcome to the coaches, the parents, the friends, distinguished visitors, and guests. We're going to have a special guest for you later this morning after the final competitions. That's Secretary of Energy Ernest Moniz to help present the awards. I want to extend special thanks to Jan. Where's Jan? There's Jan. Jan Tyler. Yes. And the legion of volunteers that Jan conscripts. We're very pleased this morning that we have David Zarin once again to act as Master of Ceremonies of the National Science Bowl Finals. David, over the past 25 years, has written...
Can see you and recognize you. There they are, folks, the new kids on the block. Good to have you here. At the other end of the spectrum, we have 2 schools here this morning who have been with us most of our existence. 17 of our 24 years, 2 schools. Mira Loma High School. Where is Mira Loma? Mira Loma is our defending champion, three-time national champion, and their coach, Mr. Jim Hill over there, has been with us for 15 years. Mr. Smith, always good to have you here. Thank you, and good luck today. The other school that's been here for 17 years, the Thomas Jefferson Science and Tech School from nearby Alexandria. Thomas Jefferson, where are you folks today? Right there in the center. And their longtime coach, Sharon Webb, is with us here today as well and works with the bowl, and she is just a phenomenal educator. Thomas Jefferson, incidentally, has won 4 national championships, and that record still stands. As far as the middle schools, we started this competition back in 2002, and 2 of the schools here today have been with us for almost all of our 12 years. 9 years with Van Antwerp Middle School from Niskayuna, New York, and Lux Middle School from Nebraska here 9 and 8 years. They weren't buying that. We tried the North Atlantic Oscillation. We said the jet stream was sagging. We were blamed for all of the bad weather. But thanks to some daughters and their friends and a lot of little girls who visited the station, we finally came up with our scapegoat. They said, Dave, we've all seen the movie Frozen. It was Elsa who did it, the Ice Queen. We thought that was a pretty good explanation, so we adopted Let It Go as our theme song. We were all singing Frozen Fractals all week and all winter, and like Elsa, the cold never bothered me anyway. Welcome to the finale of the 24th Annual Department of Energy National Science Bowl. You know, this all started back in 1991. That was before any of you were born. I'm talking to the students, of course. Back in 1991, Pluto was still a planet. Fishing was done with a pole. Candy Crush was a treat in the bottom of our Halloween bag. And since photos were taken with film and had to be developed, selfies were out of the question. You know, since 1991, over 500 high schools and middle schools and over 240,000 students have competed right here in the nation's capital. Today, there are 580 of you here, representing 68 high schools and 48 middle schools, and we are especially happy to welcome the 21 new high schools and the 21 new middle schools. Could you guys stand so we can...
Produced and starred in, hosted in a large number of award-winning science and public affairs programs. He's well known for this. He's the host of It's Academic, broadcast out of Baltimore. He is also the senior television instructional specialist for the Prince George's County, Maryland, Public Schools Office of Television Resources, and so as not to fall idle during the weekends, he is also the meteorologist forecasting the weather for News Channel 8 and WJLA, ABC 7 News. We are extremely pleased to have David with us today. Please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you, Pat, and good morning. And it is certainly nice to be back for my 15th year here at the National Science Bowl. And Pat mentioned very nicely that I am a meteorologist. I'm happy to admit that on a morning like this. When the sun is out, you guys have had a great weekend. And I have to tell you, it's really nice to hear applause for a change. You take your cues well. All this winter, those of you that lived anywhere on the East Coast know that we had the worst winter ever. It just never stopped snowing. And the public turned on us. And we tried as best we could. We tried to pacify them with, it's the polar vortex, respectively. Van Antwerp and Lux, could you stand so we can recognize you? They're way in the back there. Thank you so much for being here all these years, and congratulations. How many of you, like Emily Gay of Clarence Middle School up in New York, are here in Washington, D.C. for the very first time? Very first time. A lot of hands out there. You know, if it's your first trip here, it's no different than for those of us that have lived here most of our lives. There's a thrill about being in Washington, and I hope you felt that. Sitting in this magnificent hall that looks like the Parthenon, if you're walking on that great green swath of the mall, if you go atop the Kennedy Center and you see the monuments and the Potomac River, there's just a grandeur about Washington that takes your breath away. And we hope you've felt that here this weekend, and we hope you come back many times. I also hope you've made a lot of new friends while you're here. Some of you have been here year after year. I know you go on Facebook. I know you text because you're making friends here that you're going to run across in ways you don't imagine as you go through your life. There's a certain kind of camaraderie here that you've felt, and you take it back with you, and it's something that will never leave you. You're having a souvenir experience. You'll always think back to this time, and hopefully you'll come back like our alums and participate and volunteer with us. The fact that you're here tonight and this morning in such a huge mass, I hope you don't feel anonymous. If you're sitting out there thinking, I'm just one